let it ride. Red light on, mic stay hot. Schoolie talk slick, shooter take shots. From puck drop takes to late night laughs. Lightning talk with that funky flash. No scripts, nah, just truth and tone. Thunder in the wires, Tampa grown. When Schoolie speaks, better lean in close. When shooter fires, everybody knows we the thunder. Feel that sound, bassline thick, make it bounce around. Put that funk, hit play and stay. Tampa Bay, all damn day. Benchmark arena, feel that sway. Boats on ice, let them skate that way. Say it loud, let the whole world know. Lightning hockey, we the thunder. Shooters games, late night grind. Hype in the chat, still sharp on the mic. Schoolie cool, call it like it is. Break down plays, don't miss a shift. Coots with the sauce, point and flight. Fastest slam doors every night. Who got the take? Who bring the heat? Shooter. From the couch to the rink, say it with your chest. See that thunder, funk it out. Clap your hands, let the speaker shout. Benchmark rockin', Tampa Bay, blue and white. All damn day from the season grind to the go home blow. It's lightning hockey. We the thunder. We the thunder. We the thunder. Woo. We the thunder. Hey, hey. We the thunder. We the thunder.
Welcome to
Wow.
the Thunder. My name is Robert Shoot. My friends call me Shooter. You can too if you're watching this show or listening out there. I've got my co-host here, Thomas Schoolie.
Who knew that I was going to go a little bit deaf?
We never knew we were going to go a little bit deaf, Schoolie, but Espo's got the answer for you. We are here with a very special early edition. Get those coffee mugs up there. Version of We the Thunder. This is actually our 250th episode, and we will waste no time. Say something, Schoolie, so I let you talk a little bit.
Bring them on.
Bring them on. All right, let's do it. We can't waste any time. We've got an MVP joining the show from the early beginnings in Saskatchewan to being drafted by the Atlanta Thrashers to Stanley Cup champion with your Tampa Bay Lightning to podcast host and broadcaster, and today, a golfer. Let's bring him on. Braden Coburn. Man, hey, we got to bring you on like this. A lightning strike. Thank you, man, again for taking some time this morning to join us. First question I have for you is...
Well, I'm jealous. You guys got your nicknames on there. I got just Braden Coburn on there. I like Shooter and Schoolie. Like I
No
feel left
Kobe?
out
I
here.
can't believe you didn't know Kobe there.
Well, listen, next time, you got to earn your stripes on this show. It's not easy. Ask Dinger. We've had Chris Dingman on a couple times, and he gets a nickname. So next time we'll get you a nickname on the show. Now, I want to start with a question not really about hockey. I want to start about with what you're doing now, because you are a host of Thomas Schoolie's favorite podcast. He has a podcast, but his favorite podcast is your podcast with Greg Wolf. How do you like doing that podcast? And did you ever think that is something that you were going to do after your playing career?
Never. I always enjoyed interactions with the media when I was a player. When I was in Philadelphia, it wasn't always like something I look forward to, but I would say once I got to Tampa, and it's a small group of media there, and so I really enjoyed those guys and got to know those guys at a pretty good level. But I remember when Girardi, he retired, and him and Seth started the block party. And I thought it was neat. I watched a couple of the episodes. G's such a funny guy, and I thought him and Seth were doing a great job. And then when I retired, Seth had interviewed me. I think it was a couple times, and I floated the idea to Seth and Brian Breesman about me kind of filling that spot that G had, and it was something that I just thought was going to be kind of fun. And I did a couple radio spots on DAE. with those guys there in the morning, and I was just kind of I was liking it. I was talking hockey, which is my favorite thing to do in the whole wide world, and talking to our Lightning fans, and it just kind of grew. And when Greg came on board, I didn't know Greg that much. I'd obviously seen him in the arena, didn't really know him as on a personal level, but we went for coffee. We probably talked for 3 hours over a cup of coffee, just about our histories, about how we kind of liked, how we saw this program going, and our ideas for the future. And honestly, it's just kind of morphed into what it is today, which I'm really proud of. And Greg's he's a promotion whiz, something I'm not great at, but the thing I love doing is I love talking to our guys. I love giving people a window into seeing how awesome these guys are, because a lot of our guys, they're extremely focused on what they're doing. They're playing hockey, they're locked in what they're doing, but on the outside there's some amazing personalities, just amazing people. So it's been a pleasure just to be able to sit on the couch with those guys and kind of bring that to fruition as much as I can.
But you brought something that was missing when Girardi left, was that you're a player, so you know what they've been through. Like these live block parties since they've started a couple seasons ago, is probably one of the funnest things that the Lightning have ended up doing, because you sit there face to face with that employee and put them on with that player and put them on the spot. And it's different when you guys are videotaping it, because some things can be edited out. But when they're live on that stage and you're telling Paul about the prank you did on him, you're asking Sorelli, what was he doing when his garage is filling up with water. They are on the spot, and it's good having that player part there.
I I love that. It's hockey players. I remember talking with the general manager, and we were kind of talking about different players in the league. And I was like, I was a great guy. And he looked at me and goes, which player's not a great guy? And we kind of all have a very, we all have kind of that connection, played the game, been in the dressing room, understanding what it takes, and kind of, different pressures that guys feel, different journeys. They might look different, but at the end, there's a lot of similarities. So it's always fun for me to be able to see where guys came from, and how they got there, and the people that helped them get there. And then when you're there, it's the most amazing, thing in the world, being able to play professional hockey and achieve your dream, and being on a team that's working towards the goal of winning the Stanley Cup. There's very few things that are like it. People always ask me if I miss it, and I tell them every single day. Every day I miss it. But that doesn't mean that I can't still be involved in the game, and I really cherish that special time in my life. And I love watching the young men that get to keep doing it and keep chasing the dream.
That's awesome. Hey, Braden, do me a favor, because Schoolie, are you getting the blender sound effect?
Take one step to your left, Coburn.
No, I think do this. Go pop back out. So go back to the link that I sent you. I think it just got a bad connection out of nowhere. We were good, and then we just got a bad connection. So if you can, just leave and then go back to the same link that I sent you. And I bet we'll be good if we just reestablish that connection.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So just so you guys know, we're going to have Sonia joining us later on. So Sonia's going to come on. Remember, Sonia starts the season with us. So she's going to come back on. And we've got our predictions from the first show of the season. We've got a whole list of things that we've predicted as far as what was going to happen this season. And man, what an unpredictable season it was. So I have not looked at any of these, so I can't wait to go back and actually take a look at what we were talking about at the beginning of the season, what we thought might happen. So hopefully Coburn could get back on here, because I've got a lot of pretty good questions with him.
Oh, there he is.
And I know, let's see if he's back here. Do we have you back? No. No. Technical difficulties this morning. Braden's
By the way,
actually.
Kobe's on his way to a golfing charity event where he's volunteering. So he's actually taken some time this morning to be here with us for as he's all over the place today. He was telling us he's been on the go since early this morning.
Yeah, and he's on his phone, so sometimes on the cell phone networks. I think that's what happened. We had a great connection, then something happened, and it was not a great connection. So I think if he just jumps back on, we should be good. So hopefully he can use that same link and get back on.
Yeah, I see someone mentioning the new playoff sign. Here's the new, but I'm not sure if this is the one they're going to give to everybody because it does say Bolt for Life here. So I'm not sure if it's for everybody, but it says we're watching Lightning playoff hockey, and it's huge.
Awesome. All right, let's see. Can we hear you now?
You guys hear me? Is that right? Better?
Ooh, it's a little bit better.
Yeah, at least we can hear whole sentences this time.
So let's we'll keep it going because we know you're pretty busy here and you got to go. So, question I have for you: do you remember your first NHL goal?
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube. I remember it very well. In the old igloo in Pittsburgh, on my junior teammate, Marc-Andre Fleury, coming across the blue line on the left side, just kind of like letting a shot go, and I ended up finding a hole somewhere in him and skipped into the net. So yeah, I do remember that one. That was great.
Oh, it is on YouTube. What do you know? I mean,
Yeah.
by the way, congrats. Pretty good first goal against the Flower, right? Pretty legendary goalie to score your first goal against. And I want to make a comment here, and I'm not chirping at you because I'm pretty sure I'm older than you. But look at the video here. This video looks 100 years old on YouTube, and it's been on YouTube for a long time now. But yeah, there it is. He just takes it across the blue line and puts the puck on net. Man, I wish if you can mention to some of the guys before the playoff series starts, maybe even bring your phone around and show this highlight. Sometimes us Lightning fans just really wish the boys would put the puck on the net like you did here. And look what happens. I mean, you got a perfect bounce on that shot where you threw him off there. But yeah, that was pretty cool to have your first goal against the Flower.
Well, I had so many opportunities where I was like, I can't believe that didn't go in, and I was like, when am I going to score? When am I going to get my first goal? And then the fact that that goes in, I was just like, heck yeah! And Pittsburgh was our biggest rival for forever in Philadelphia, so it was good. It was good to get one against them for sure.
Now, are you pretty pumped for that rivalry kind of, making its way into this year's playoffs with Pittsburgh and Philly in the first round?
Yeah, hell yeah. That's going to be a great series. I'm really looking forward to it. I think Rick Tockett's done an excellent job with those guys this season and their perseverance. And Danny B was an old teammate of mine. I think he's doing a great job of building that team back to where they should be. Philly's a hockey town, and I still love seeing the Orange do well. So I think that'll be good. And I still hate Pittsburgh. So here we go.
Yeah, it's
Kobe,
strange not seeing
go
Philly around in the playoffs.
go back to the day you were traded to the Lightning. Gudis was out with a knee injury, laying on his couch. I mean, he sends it out that there's a picture of him on his couch with his knee all wrapped up, and then all of a sudden we get told Radko Gudis traded for Braden Coburn. And people immediately are like, yes, someone that can play immediately. Back then, Tampa was not the team it is now. It was not the destination for so many players. What was it like when you got told, hey, you're getting traded to the Tampa Bay Lightning?
Well, playing in Philly, there was it felt like every week for about 4 years there was a rumor that someone in our dressing room was getting traded somewhere. It was like the epicenter of trade rumors, and Paul Holmgren was a very aggressive general manager, and then that season I got traded. Um, Ron Hextall had come in, and he was kind of trying to put his touch on the team, but at the time, I was honestly, Schoolie, I was shocked a little bit. I thought I think we might have been 6 points out of a playoff spot at the trade deadline. We'd been playing much better. I had been playing pretty good up to that point. I had a tough year. I'd broke my foot a couple times. Me and Michael Delzato were partners together, and we were playing some really solid hockey. So um, when the call came in, actually, it was pretty late at night. I think it was like
Mhm.
might have been March 1st, 2015, and my son he was just a baby, and I remember my wife waking up in the middle of the night to feed him, and she looked at her phone and was like, had all these text messages, like 30 text messages, and especially from all of our family and friends out west. What they were a couple hours behind us, and she's like, "You better check your phone. There might be something going on." And on my phone, I had a message from Stevie Y and from Hexy, and actually Mr. Vinnick called, and Mr. Schneider with the Flyers, and it was a whirlwind after that. I packed up. I think I actually might even miss my flight. I was supposed to get on the plane at like 10 o'clock, and Coop was going to pick me up from the airport, and it all got all screwed up. But it was a whirlwind. I left that house, got to Tampa. I think the next weekend I'd built the house in Philly, and we put our house on for sale the next week because we were gonna make Tampa home. It became very clear to us right away that this was a place that I wanted to stay and really kind of put some roots down too. So it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, and then obviously a great season for the Bolts. You get extended, and then you're here almost the rest of your career. I know you got traded after the Cup win and stuff, but did you feel in that year, because I kind of break the Lightning franchise up into little like eras basically, and I still feel like we're still on kind of the John Cooper era, right? And that 2015 team kind of surprised everyone, making it to the finals. You had the triplets, which were these guys that kind of came out of nowhere. We were adding the right pieces like you to build a championship team. Did you kind of feel like there was something in the air that first year in Tampa, like something special was being built here?
Well, I had been to the finals in 2010, and that group was a little bit. There were some similarities, but there was a lot of things that were different in 2015 for me, and it was a group of guys that just almost like didn't know any better, didn't know like that this was supposed to be a lot of pressure, and didn't know that this the Stanley Cup Finals and the Stanley Cup playoffs are all this stuff going in, and it was like I kind of felt like we were immune to it, immune to the pressure. We had some guys that had been there with the Ranger guys, Callahan and Strawman and Boyle and Brendan Morrow, that were those solid leaders. And then we had all these other guys that I'd just been playing against for like maybe a season or two, that were just kind of like, we're good, we know it, we're kind of like cocky, and we're just gonna win this thing. So it was a really cool ride. I would say, John Cooper was a different coach back then. He was, just like all the players. He's grown and learned, and he was. I would say, it was just different. Just the way the team was. It was very much. It was just. Everything felt young to it. But it was so much energy, and man, that playoff run, the buildings, how crazy it was. Playing Detroit, I was in the first round. I think that was just a hurdle we just had to get over. And once we got over that hurdle, it felt like we were going to be unstoppable. Unfortunately, Chicago had other plans, but it was just a fabulous foundation to kind of get things rolling to where they've been for the last decade now.
Yeah.
And when we talk about this current playoff, Montreal, we start Sunday, announce 5:45, weird time. I think all fans of both sides are saying that's a weird time. People have asked me, what do you think about Montreal? And I say they remind me a lot of you guys in 2015, that Chicago team, that they're full of young guys. a couple veterans, and it seems like that's the matchup that's going to be. It's going to be the younger team versus the older veteran, except for this year, you have a lot of injuries with a lot of younger guys mixed in with this team too for the Lightning. Do you see kind of similarity in the matchup this year with Montreal, and what's your feeling stacking up against Montreal in this first round?
Well, it's tough to compare teams. I think Montreal's their own animal. I think Marty's done a
Uh, we've hit the dead spot. Shoot. Yeah, no audio, no video. Come on, EV Mux. We'll see if he jumps back on. We're about to get like a golden nugget of information. I feel like
I think Marty click.
we'll
Marty said,
never,
"Uh-uh."
we'll never know. Oh wait, let's see.
There he
Let's
is.
get him back. Braden,
I'm so sorry, guys. This never happens. I don't know
No,
what's
you're
going on here.
good.
So
no, you're saying you're talking about Marty coaching up in Montreal.
yeah, I just think he's done a great job. That team, they play so free. They they just look like everybody's in sync. They have unbelievable puck movement. I just love the way they play offense. The freedom of their team, the skill, the way he allows those skill guys to kind of express themselves, doesn't feel like they're super restricted in what they're doing. They've added some good pieces. I know he's hurt right now, but a guy like Noah Dobson, I played with him right at the end of my career. Have a lot of respect for him. I think he's a great young defenseman. But they've done enough. They've done enough where they've got some guys with size to complement some of their really smaller, skilled guys, and I think ultimately, they've been trying to find answers at goaltending, and we'll see. That's they're going with some young kids there, but it's you get to the playoffs, and it's always a battle, and it's always a war, and you really never know what's going to happen, and what kind of team's going to show up. But
Yeah.
I am glad that we got the home ice, and that we're going to be able to kind of assert ourselves early on.
Yeah, what do you think are the keys for the Bolts? I mean, you kind of alluded to, well, they don't really have experienced goaltending, and we've got about as good as you can get with goaltending in net for the playoffs. But like, what do you think is really the edge for the Bolts to beating Montreal? Because they are a tough team. They've got a little playoff experience from last year. And they seem to have all the pieces, and they're on a roll right now. But all bets are off when we get to playoffs. But what do you think is going to be the key for the Bolts here?
Well, I think that championship experience that the Bolts have. You got, Corey Perry's only been to a million Stanley Cups. The guy's just a winner. He drags people into the fight. And listen, I agree. Montreal's got some experience last year, but this is also a Bolts team that they're sick of losing out in the first round. This is a motivated group that is just frankly, they need to like perform. And they have a good mix of veteran guys, of guys that have like shown up this year and just absolutely you know shot the moon, whether it's a Radish or a Dastu or all those guys. Lilleberg, I love the way he's playing right now. I'm highlighting all the D because those are the guys I love the most. But and two, I would say one of the things that one of the advantages Tampa has is that I just think the maturity of their group bodes well. And I think for Montreal, there's a lot of pressure when you're a Montreal Canadian and you're playing in the playoffs. And if the Bolts can get them in a position and have them in a position where they got them down, I think that'll really be a big advantage for them.
Yeah, love to see some home wins in the playoffs. I feel like it's been way too long. I swear the last
Yes.
home playoff game I remember us winning was Sergachev coming back from his major injury and getting back in the lineup, and we won one against the Panthers, and then we were done after that a couple years ago. So yeah, let's win some games at home. We want some more playoff wins and get back into that mode. Do you think going back to like Montreal, Lane Hudson, and also around the NHL, like I kind of feel like the tide is turning with defensemen. Like you were a big, tough defenseman, a shutdown defender, but we're seeing guys like Hudson I'll put JJ Mosier in there where it's not necessarily the size of the player, but I feel like the NHL is kind of shifting to more of speedy defenders. Do you feel like there's kind of been a tilt lately to that type of defenseman in the NHL?
Well, I think the NHL has just become so skilled, and there's just those guys ultimately are invaluable to their team. The way they can transport the puck, the way they can move, uh, just the different dimensions of what they bring to the game. Um, but to be honest with you, at the end of the day, when it comes to playoffs, it comes to 7 game series. You look at the teams that have won. You look at Florida last year. They had some big guys back there, some big horses. When we were winning our cups, we had some big boys pushing some pounds. And I think at the end of the day, you're going to need those guys to play physical, impose themselves, and really make life hard on the other team's top players because there's just not a lot of space. And a guy like Lane Hudson, listen, to be honest with you, he's going to be targeted. He's going to be a guy that they're going to talk about every time we get a chance. Let's put a licking on this guy and see if we can wear him down. So, uh, but I give him all the credit in the world. Fantastic season. When I watch him out there, he's just dancing around. His puck skills are unbelievable. But you got to believe guys like Nick Paul and Brandon Hagel, like every time they get a chance, there's going to be a body on that guy.
Yeah, I love that approach. I like, let's scare them a little bit. Let's make them think twice about kind of crossing center ice there. I also think like, when you got a guy like Darren Radish, listen, I understand the pressure of a defenseman and being able to, put that puck on net, and it's dangerous when those pucks get blocked. Like they're going the other way and they're going the other way fast, and you guys got to turn around and catch them. But man, if I would be feeding Darren Radish, because once you step in front of one of those 100-mile-per-hour shots, you probably think twice about the second and third time. Yeah, what a season he's had. Have you ever seen anything like that where a guy like Radish, who was an okay hockey player, ho hum stats, has come out and just like elevated his game like this? Because we're going back with Sonia when she jumps on to go through some of our predictions from the beginning of the season. None of our predictions had Ratty going for 21 goals and breaking the Bolts record for defensemen in goals for a season.
Well, I honestly, I think Ratty's always been a great player. I think he's followed a development arc that, allowed his game and the ability to stay with it, and credit to him, like his perseverance and his ability to believe in himself, and really just, what he's done as far as the work he's put into it. But I really believe this year was about opportunity. He got the opportunity to run the top. He took the most of it. I know it was a couple. I guess last season, they tried him out a little bit on that other side where Stammer was before, taking one timers over there, and it didn't fit him. I think it wasn't where he was comfortable, but working the top and being that righty on Kucha's side and being able to move around and get lots of reps, and really when Hetty went down, he got a real unbelievable opportunity to insert himself there, and he took the bull by his horns, and he hasn't let go since. When he does that, he's been able to really showcase his best weapon. And then the emergence of JJ Mosier and Ratty as partners. When you can find a D partner that you can build chemistry with, it changes the dynamics of the game. You're in sync. Things happen so fast when you're breaking pucks out, when you're defending. You just got to know the guys there. And so when you have that chemistry and you have that comfort with another guy, it elevates both players, and that's what I see this year. I see Ratty's elevated JJ, and JJ's Ratty elevated Ratty, and it's allowed both of them to have that foster that offensive side of the game, and then on Ratty's side, like he's been a weapon on that power play, and it's something that we've needed, and he was in the right spot at the right time, and it's credit to him because he put himself in that spot.
Yeah,
And the Lightning are practicing right now, and they're working on power play. And your power play one line is Kucherov, Hagel, Point, Gensel, and Radish. Your power play two line is Paul, James, Perry, Destu, and Bjorkstrand. So they're keeping Ratty on that top line and having
Eglin.
Bjorkstrand to that second line and Dominic James back. So that's going to be something good for this playoffs.
Yeah, it'll be good to see Dom back. He just brings a different dimension with the ability. His skating is. I just love watching this guy skate. He's a relentless forechecker, and I'm sure he's he's just eager as hell to get in the playoffs. And it's tough as a young guy being out, and so I'm really excited to see him jump in there. And that first unit, it's been tough sled in the last little bit, but you get an opportunity. One of the unique things about playoffs is you get an opportunity to study the other team's PK. You get an opportunity to really kind of hone in on exactly what you're going to do, and you're going to make your plan B, your plan C, and plan D, and all the way through of how you're going to get into the zone, what you want to try to do. And a guy like Kucherov, we've seen in the last few off seasons, and what he's said is like, I want to make sure that when we get to the playoffs, this power play is a difference maker for this team, and it's not something that we're looking back saying, well, we went 0 for 11 against an opponent where we didn't really help our cause. I know it's going to be a huge point of emphasis for these guys that this power play shows up and really makes a difference. So, and to be honest with you, I know they've been a little bit better as late, but the Montreal penalty kill is not something to write home about. This is not the Florida Panthers penalty kill of years past. This is a little different unit, and I think of a guy like Noah Dobson when he's out of the lineup. He's such a huge shot blocker for them. That's an area where they can take advantage.
Yeah, and they've got to. And I've got my money on Cooch and the boys in the power play to score some goals anytime. Do you think Cooch? You think he's got a shot this year for the Hart? I mean, every year we're whining about like, it should be Cooch, should be Cooch. McDavid, of course, comes out and has a crazy game last night and pads his lead for points. But does Cooch have a pretty good argument this year to win that Hart Trophy?
Well, I think the voters have shown the last couple of years that just because you lead the league in scorings, that doesn't mean that they're going to give you the trophy, or Kuch would have 2 more MVPs behind his belt. So I think if they look at the total body of work, what he's done, what he's meant to this team, how valuable he's been, and those metrics, like the metrics have come. It's not just a power play anymore. It's his 5-on-5 plays dramatically improved. Think he finished the year, was it plus 44, something around that. Really remarkable. That might be a career high for him. So that tells you he's getting it done in different ways. But, I can't imagine where this team would have been without his offensive and honestly, his just all around gameplay this year. So for me, being able to see him day in, day out and really kind of have that view of how he changes games and the way teams have to focus on him and, realizing that if they can shut him down, which is a monumental task, they have a good chance of really affecting this game against Tampa. But for me, he's the clear-cut guy. But I haven't been in media long enough to get a vote yet. But maybe I'll work on that.
We got to get you some votes for these awards because we got some other guys and coaches we think should win some awards too. All right, we got to let you go here. I got 2 quick ones for you. Current playoff format, I don't love it. I think this year it's an advantage for the Bolts going back to what we've talked about, experience, right? Buffalo, they brought in some vets to pad that team's experience, but Buffalo hasn't really been there. A lot of the Boston guys haven't really been there. Montreal guys are kind of new to the playoffs, and yeah, you got the veterans sprinkled in on all those teams. But it should be an advantage to be in kind of that bracket with the Bolts. But I think overall, the playoff format is not kind to teams that have been successful in the regular season. I miss 1 through 8. I think they should 100% go back. Where do you stand for this? Do you like kind of what the NHL is doing here, or would you say go back to the 1 through 8, or try something else?
Have you been talking to Greg Wolf?
Oh,
He's on a crusade about this. He really feels like this is a huge injustice of the league. Listen, the approach I have is I don't get too crazy about these things. It is what it is. They're trying to foster these rivalries, whether it's fair or not. It's just, yeah. I think that it doesn't make for the best conference finals, because let's take an example of the Western Conference. The three best teams in the Western Conference: the Colorado Avalanche, Dallas Stars, and the Minnesota Wild. And only one of them will be still around come the second round. Come the third round, which I don't think is right. But that being said, you gotta play the best teams, regardless. All roads lead through the good clubs. So, uh, you know, I, Gary Bettman doesn't. He's not easily swayed. This was kind of like something that he really believes in, and I know there's been a lot of national talk and chatter about whether this is the right way to do it. But I think it's with us for the foreseeable future at this point.
He came out and made a statement saying how, that some people don't like it, but we have that the NHL has the best first rounds than any other sport, which I agree that makes some good first rounds. But then, like you said, you have some of your bigger teams out at the end, and then you had someone like Edmonton last night not sitting anybody because they did not want to play Colorado at all in that first round. So they made sure McDavid played last night, even though he already had the scoring and everything. And they had to win that game last night, or they were playing against the Avs first round.
Yeah, if I counter that, I would say, you know, did the first rounds need to get any better than they already were?
Right.
I've always believed NHL first round hockey is like just the most exciting 2 weeks. I don't know how much I sleep. It's just like game after game after game, going to bed at sometimes 3 in the morning, depending on overtimes in the West. But for me, it's much watch hockey, and it's just that excitement of what happens. And to be honest with you, I always thought that the getting out of the first round was the biggest hurdle to having playoff success. Once you get out of that first round, it just seems like things get kind of rolling a little bit. I don't have any, evidence to say that that's really true, but that's just always what I felt was, the hardest part was just getting out of the first round.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been interesting to see last year if the Bolts could have gotten past Florida, what would have happened. What do you think as far as this year's playoffs? If, Lightning aside, say the Lightning are not going to make the Stanley Cup finals, do you feel like this is Colorado's Stanley Cup to lose with the season that they've had, or is there a team you think that, has a really good chance to win it this year?
Well, I don't know. Colorado's in a mix. I would say, a lot of people are saying they're the favorite. The President's Trophy winner is usually the favorite because they've had an excellent regular season. They got a great squad. But I also, I'm not sold on kind of a lot of parts of their game. I think they have some deficiencies that have been showing up during the regular season. I think they benefited a lot from weaker Western Conference. Some of the teams they played during the season, but that being said, they have probably the best defenseman in the world, Cale Makar, Nate McKinnon, unbelievable. But goaltending I think is an issue for them as much as I love our buddy Scott Wedgwood. I think there's some areas there that I think they would probably have liked to have a little stronger play in. But last year, I thought it's actually the last couple of years, Dallas, they have a good team. They got some structure there. They've had enough disappointment to be just as hungry as hell. Jake Ottinger is an excellent goaltender. Whether he can get over his playoff whatever he's been going through. I like their team out west, and then in the east. Man, I've been saying this since since our run that I really feel like the east is the Lightning's to lose. Just the way that it sets up for them and the experience that they have, and really kind of what I think what I think might look like for this team if they can play the hockey that they're capable of playing. For me, the East is going to be a tough sledge, but I think the Lightning are really well positioned to put themselves in a spot to compete again in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, I think so. I'm so excited. I'm with you. I watch all these games, like up late at night, watching the West Coast games. They're all so good. It all gets started tomorrow. So excited about it. Last question for you. We showed your first goal, talked about that. What was Braden Coburn's favorite Braden Coburn goal? Do you have one in mind where you're like, yeah, That was a nice one.
You know, I had I think I had like 3 Game 7 winning goals, and I was because I think it was the last time that the Buffalo was in the playoffs. I'd scored against Ryan Miller when we beat them in Philly in 2012, I believe it was. But honestly, the best for me and the most exciting, and just because of kind of the culmination of that year was Game 7. Ryan Callahan passed it to me in the slot for that goal to win in Detroit, or against Detroit in Tampa. Was probably the one that I would look back on and say, I was most fond of. I'm not going to sit here and try to blow smoke up your guys' butt that I scored a boatload of goals, but there's some ones that were definitely meaningful, and that was one of them.
Yeah, hey, for the big D man, you got to celebrate them all. I think when we had Andre Waugh from the 04 team on, I think we actually broke down every single one of his career. And he wasn't even a D man.
And a cookie.
Oh, jeez. Don't ask that guy to get you a cookie. Hey, we'll actually send you off with my favorite Braden goal too here. Game 7, the icebreaker, the 0-0 tie. Game 7. Look at this sniper on the ice here against Detroit. A huge goal. Again, 0-0. Look at Killer holding the guy behind the net, and then you just sniping it in. A massive goal. Hey, man, we appreciate you so much, not just for jumping on here, but for being such a big part of the team that we love. And like, you were a big part of this era of Lightning hockey to build this team and these guys that are still playing right now and what they've done. Because, we didn't have much of a history beyond 2004 in that championship. So when you came in 2015, like, that really helped solidify this team, this franchise. And we're so happy that, like, you're still here. We get to watch you on the broadcast now. You've got the best Lightning podcast out there with our guy Greg Wolf. And hey, now you can tell him, because Greg Wolf's probably up there with Sonia and Eric Erlinson as far as like most appearances on this show. So now you can tell Wolf that you've broke your We the Thunder cherry. So, hey, man, we really appreciate your time here. And thanks again for everything you've done around Tampa Bay and with the Bolts.
Well, it was my pleasure, guys. I'm glad we could make it work. And apologies if some of the technical digital stuff, I'm almost illiterate when it comes to that stuff.
No, it's not you.
I would love to be on again another time. And thank you guys so much. Appreciate what you guys do.
Thanks, Kobe.
All right. Thanks. Have fun out there on the golf course, man.
Thank you, guys.
All right. How cool was that, man? That was.
I need you to send Sonia a link, please. Her link ain't working that you sent me.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Entertain the people, Thomas Schooley, while we got our next guest on for episode 250. Not only has America turned 250 this year, We the Thunder has turned 250 this year. All right, we got to get Sonia a link here. If you're out there watching,
go to the Bolt for Life pet rally this morning. They gave away these little megaphones. I don't know what they're gonna have at the watch party tonight, at the pet rally tonight. These little.
What time's the pep rally? Give the people the information they need.
I think it's 6:00 tonight out at Sparkman's Wharf. There's that light up towel. It's got a couple different settings on it. I do not know if these are going to be the playoff signs they give away tonight, because they do say Bolt for Life on it, so I'm not sure if it was an exclusive for Bolt for Life members. So we're watching Lightning playoff hockey. Shh. Was the playoff sign that they gave us. They had car flags. They had some different just Bolt for Life exclusive events things. So
I sent you the link for Sonia.
You sent me it
on here. Hopefully, we don't have any technical difficulties. I swear it's our streaming software here that screws us up. Plus, Braden was outside on his phone, so it was probably part of it. We got Orozco on the chat. He wants your extra signs.
I didn't get any extra signs.
Jasper, that was awesome. Thank you. Totally
They,
agree.
they gave you the amount of seats you had. So they didn't give extras.
So get out there and start asking. I'm curious, kind of everyone in the chat.
This was the shirt they gave, which was weird because this is the first year the shirt does not say playoffs. They might have a different one tonight. I don't know. This is from Advent Health, but usually it says the year playoff. So maybe tonight they will have a different one. We shall see. I'm hoping that link works for Sonia. I have the watch party. Well, let's go over the schedule real quick. Game 1, Sunday, 5:45. Game 2, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Game 3, Friday, 7 p.m. Game 4, next Sunday, 7 p.m. Game 5, if needed, the following Wednesday on the 29th, time to be determined. Game 6 would be that Friday, and then 7 on Sunday again. So 3 Sundays. And there's a very special, there she is. She's driving too, and she's upside down now. There we go.
Hold on, let's bring her on.
If we do have a home game, if we have a home game 3, it's going to be a very special moment for this young lady right here. Sonia, you look like you might be from. Oh, there you are. What home game 3? What's that special moment for you?
Well, I'm going to have home game 500 on the 3rd playoff game. So
500. That's crazy.
500. Yep.
Wow. So we have to get to a game 5. Like if we complete, well, we need to win a Stanley Cup, but if we gotta get to a game 5. And if there's one game that you can go to in this playoff series, I think it's got to be game 5 for people. Yeah, that is amazing. Did you ever think when you sung the first time, you would be singing 499 other times?
Never. Because when I started, remember, it was almost like a fluke that I got in to sing there anyway. So when I first started, I was still active duty military. So I thought it was going to be just an individual kind of thing, last maybe a couple of weeks and then that'll be it. I didn't think it would go this long.
Yeah. Well, hey, here we are, 2026, couple cups later. And you're still going. That is unbelievable.
Look at this picture I have of Sonia from one of the first times I ever met her.
Who's that young lady?
Yeah, that was a while ago. I got some grandma wrinkles now.
I found that in my pictures yesterday, and I was like, oh, I got to bring that out.
But yeah, unbelievable. Like I always am running late to games, and I get mad if I don't get there in my seat before you come on, because I feel like we're not starting Lightning hockey until I hear your voice in that arena. So, thank you 500 times soon for doing that. You're just such a huge part of the team. And thank you for joining us again. You joined us again at the beginning of this season, and we did predictions. Do you remember doing these predictions? It feels like forever ago.
I remember, but I don't remember the predictions.
You predicted Darren Radish would score 21 goals. Like, who knew? You did not predict. Nobody predicted that.
Nobody.
Yeah, I do want to go over some of that, but I mean, are you pumped? Are you ready for the playoffs? Are you ready for Sunday? 5:45.
I am so ready. I am trying to talk my nail technician into putting like little diamonds on my nails, and she's like, I don't know if I can do that. I am so excited about every little detail.
Well, you need to tell them that, hey, this is playoffs, all right? This is serious business for us. we need to do something to get this team winning some playoff games at homes. And if it's the
Right.
nails, I'll do my nails if we need.
No.
He does that normally anyway, so don't pretend it's just for the playoffs.
You should have seen me in
Listen,
2020.
there's plenty of others in that arena that do as well, and it shocks me all the time. I'm like, whoa.
So what are your thoughts on the season? I mean, it's been a while since we talked to you. It's been another just roller coaster type season for the Bolts and everyone. We've had a good season. We've had moments and months in the season where we've looked unstoppable. And then we had a break with the Olympics. We got to see one of our guys win a gold medal and a lot of our guys compete for their countries. And then the team kind of came back a little bit flat, but still obviously finishing towards the top of a very tough division and conference. I mean, what's your feel? You think these guys can get back to that Stanley Cup Finals this year or what?
Absolutely. I think what our guys during the regular season, I don't know, it's like they don't take their vitamins or something, but during the playoffs, we're a different animal. We are a different type of team. And I just believe that they're going to just get electrified and just do it. Just do it. I can't wait.
Yeah, I have a feeling like we've seen the Bolts do this many times. We talked about it last week. They've finished a lot of seasons, including the seasons that they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals on losing streaks, where it's almost like, hey, we know what this is about. This is about the second season in the NHL. Like, we've got one of the most experienced teams, and I just can't wait till Sunday because I really want to see them flip the switch, turn up the dial, whatever you guys want to call it. Like, I just can't wait to see how these guys come out, knowing that they know what it takes, they know what's on the line, and sprinkle in some of these newer guys that, not that they necessarily haven't been there, like a Dominic James, who really hasn't been in the NHL playoffs, and will be coming back hopefully from injury. But you got guys like Hagel that weren't here for that cup run, and you've got a lot of these guys that are hungry and they have not touched that Stanley Cup yet. So I just can't wait to see how these guys respond. I know a lot of people are super worried, and a lot of Bolts fans are thinking like, these guys are a first round out again. I don't know. I feel like Sunday we're going to see a different team take the ice.
I do too, and don't forget we got the Worm. He's got the most playoff experience of any player in the NHL. Then you have people like Yanni Gord, who has played with us during the playoffs before, so he knows what to expect. Hagel, who's just a go-getter piece of man, he's just gonna do what it takes, whatever. You got Dastu, who's a hard worker, and a lot of these young guys who we've never seen before, but it's like they absorb our energy once they get there, and they know what it takes to do where we need to get to in order to win.
Yeah, I totally like the mix that we have, and of course, Cooper's going to have these guys ready to go.
Yeah, he is.
And
it looks like please tell me he's gonna win Jack Adams, because if he doesn't, I'm gonna riot. I promise you, I'm gonna riot.
He won't this year. It's gonna be Buffalo's coach that wins it. But I think you're gonna get Vasi win the Vezina, and I think Cooch will actually win the MVP this year.
All right, we'll see.
I think they're going to shut all our guys out. I don't think they're going to give it to Cooch because they're already coming up with these random stats about McDavid's season, and nothing against McDavid. He's a great player, but let's look at the games played, Cooch versus McDavid in those points, right? Let's look at the most valuable player. If we don't have Nikita Kucherov, man, this team's drastically different. And by the way, we need to extend Kucherov probably this offseason. So if people get upset if Darren Radish ends up leaving, which hopefully he doesn't, but that guy deserves every extra $1 million he's going to get. If we do lose Darren Radish, just remember part of that is to keep a guy like Nikita Kucherov. So I don't want people to. I want to prepare people for what could happen. And hey, we listen. And JBB, we trust, right? He could. If anyone can make it happen, he can do his gymnastics with making sure we're cap compliant.
And hey, I see him every game prior to singing. He comes down the tunnel, and we always either give each other the thumbs up or he gives me a fist pump. So I believe in his work. I know he's going to do well.
Oh my gosh! Well, you were one step further than the one time me and Thomas Schooley shared a elevator ride in the freight elevator with him, and Schooley's like, "Hey, see how it is?" And I'm like, "Yeah." No fist pumps, not a word spoken to JPB. But someday we will muster up the courage.
Right.
I've talked to him about 5 or 6 times.
When are you talking to Jay? What the heck, Schooley?
That was before the Stamkos trade, and I said I hate him. So since then, I haven't talked to him. I'm sure he's laying in bed at night saying, "Why won't Schooley talk to me anymore?" But
Right.
but beforehand, yes, I've met him probably a dozen times and gotten pictures with him and stuff. I always liked him because if you asked him for a selfie, he'd be like, "No, we're gonna get somebody to take a photo for us because we're gonna do this properly. We're not taking these selfies. You're gonna get a proper photo." And he does that with everybody. He's like, "Nope, no, we're gonna have someone take a photo for us." So I've always admired that part of him as the way he treats the fans and stuff.
Yeah,
Sounds cool.
classy guy. I remember one of the games I went to in Nashville, all decked out in my Bolts gear. He's across the street, or I'm across the street, and he shows up at like this little food court area that they have. You know, one of those fancy food court things. I'm guessing they were going. Him and some of the guys in the front office were going to get some food before the game, as was I. And I remember like just walking right past them, and he must have saw my Lightning gear, direct eye contact with JBB, and I just fell to my knees. I was like, "Ah, JBB!" Yeah.
Let's not say what else you did when you fell to your knees. Like say his face.
You know what's funny about that is I had a similar moment on going to see the Bolts in Vegas with Stevie Y. You know those Vegas like where you go over the roads, like they've got all those overpasses where you kind of go up and over the roads. On one of those, I'm walking all my Lightning gear. I'm with Carly, and then Stevie Y's walking up the staircase. And like, once again, he must see all my Lightning stuff, direct eye contact, and yeah. But by the way, both times I gave them both the nod. I gave them both the nod, like, "Hey, I know you. I know you." So,
Now, Mr. Iserman was a different thing. So I was in awe of him, and I know that I probably shouldn't be, but I was in awe of him. So I always called him Mr. Iserman. JBB out when he goes past, I'll say, "Hi, Julian," whatever. But for some reason with Iserman, I would always say Mr. And he goes, Sonia, call me Steve. I'm like, nope.
He had that look like if you said the wrong thing, he had connections and you weren't going to be around longer. The first time I got to contact with him was at one of the old carnivals that they used to do.
Yeah.
And literally, he's standing behind one of the tents with his arms folded like this. And I'm like, "Oh, there's the elusive Mr. Iserman. I'm going to go approach him." And I ended up getting a picture with him. But he was not one that really liked to take pictures. He was not one that really wanted to be in the limelight. He was very secretive all the way up to, the players that he took and signed and everything else. It was always, and he's doing the same in Detroit, although they're ready to ride him right out of town.
he might be unemployed later today.
Yes.
Hopefully not. Hopefully they give him another year up there. But I know
Wow.
the team on the ice has been underachieving a little bit up there. I don't know if you can blame Stevie Y because they've put together a pretty decent team and they had a great season again, but they just kind of fell off last month.
Yeah.
But Yeah, that's and the other thing about Stevie Schoolie that you remind me of is like he loved those late night trades. Remember, like you'd wake up in the morning and like the news dropped at like 2 a.m. that the Bolts had traded for like XYZ, and it was he fleeced the other team. It was for like a third round pick.
Well, that's what Coburn just said. I
Yeah.
mean, Coburn said his was in the middle of the night
Yep.
that,
Yeah.
and they
SDI.
wake up at 1 a.m. in the morning to feed the baby, and his wife's got 30 messages and wakes him up and says, "You might want to check your phone." And it's for a guy who's sitting on his couch with the knee brace on, who just had surgery, and Iserman trades him for Coburn. Like, it's like, why the heck would they trade somebody that is not playing for someone like Coburn? Like, Philly was crazy to do that. And, Radko Gudas still in the league, still an asshole. so, and
Well, first rounder we they gave up for Kobe, and a third rounder in that year's
Yeah.
draft. So they gave up quite a bit. So that probably changed the tune for Philly, and it ended up being a great trade for the Bolts. Are you guys ready to see some of these predictions?
yes.
Sure.
Okay. I love doing this. This is always so fun. So the first question was, what is your confidence level in the Lightning going into the season? And remember, I think we went live like the day before the first game. So we were like
think so.
right there. Sonia, out of 1 through 10, you said a 7.
Okay.
Julie, you gave them an 8.
Ah.
My grumpy ass gave them a 6. But listen, I was like, hey, like who's gonna be like the players that are gonna step up? And we found out pretty quickly in the first 2 months of the season, hey, we got some new guys here that can play. So
Yeah.
that's why I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know on paper how we're better than last year. In JBB we trust. Once again. How many points will the Bolts reach this season? I, with that confidence level, had the lowest one, 99. Sonia said 108. In schooling,
Oh.
so they finished 106. So you
Yeah.
were just off. Schoolie 105. So Schoolie, you were one overtime short of getting your extra point there. So well done, man. That was very close.
Yeah, that was good.
The next one, we all missed this one. I don't think anyone was predicting this, though. If the Bolts don't win the Atlantic, who will win? Nobody said the Sabres. So we all said the Toronto Maple Leafs. What were we thinking?
I don't know.
Yeah, Mitch Marner turns out is a better player than Toronto thought.
Yeah.
Here's one that we all got right. What place in the Atlantic will the Bolts finish? Second. We all said second. We finished in second. See, we know our stuff. It's not like we're not in every game. So
One question.
No, we got the points close. We also got
Okay.
the points close. Me and you.
Okay. Yeah.
Not that.
Not grumpy guy.
Just a couple games off. Couple
Not
games
grandpa over there.
Listen, the things I do to do this show. Sonia, my flight last night landed at 2:00 in the morning, and school is
Woo!
here for waking up early. And then the other side of this story is I have to thank my wife because our coffee machine broke a couple weeks ago. So I was desperately needing some coffee this morning. And what do I see in the kitchen? Brand new coffee machine. I'm like, thank
Yes.
God. Or else we
Yes.
would not be broadcasting still. We would have had a
Yes.
show. All right, let's keep it rolling here. We got what's next. Jake Gensel, over or under 40 goals for this season. I said over. Sonia said over. Schoolie said under. Jake Gensel, 38 goals. Schoolie, How'd you know? Just under 40 goals. And then Jake didn't play on Wednesday, did he?
No.
No.
So they rested him. He would have been one of 2 players that had played every single game this season.
Yanni Gord was the only one to play the whole season.
I bet they asked Jake if he really cared about that, because I bet some guys are like, yeah, I want to play every game in the season. And Jake probably said, nah, I'll rest a game, get ready for the playoffs. Okay, Cooch, last season, 121 points. We predicted how many he would get this season. But by the way, his career high, and he didn't even win MVP this season, was 144, Lightning record. Sonia, you said 146. Schoolie, you said 151. I said 150. We thought Cooch was just going to go off this year. He kind of did, but he almost kind of took off for Cooch standards. October, we just resting up a little bit. He finished 130 and might still win the Hart Trophy if he can get over the journalists and their love for McDavid and their hate for Cooch for whatever reasons. I don't know if you saw the comment from one of the broadcasters about how he talked to a voter a couple weeks ago about discrediting Cooch's
because he didn't play in the Olympics.
Like he had the option to, he didn't. Plus, you can make the argument that that would have hurt his game more than it helped his game because he wasn't playing. So anyway, I'm still a little upset about that. Who will lead the Bolts in penalty minutes this season? So
nobody knew that.
No, because it was starting to look like Shooter was going to be right because he picked Lilleberg, and Lilleberg started that season really bad, and then he had a talking to. Daddy sat him down and said, "Stop taking stupid penalties," and it ended up being Destu.
So Destu, 112. I had no idea. He must have got put in the box a lot for some of those fights that we had throughout the season. Because, you see a lot of penalty minutes on this screen. Destu led it with 112. Curtis Douglas, by the way, scored his first NHL goal last week, I believe, for Vancouver Canucks. So congrats, Curtis Douglas, the big man. 92 penalty minutes this year. Sabarin, 89. No surprise there. Chernak, 74. Ratty, 72. Mosier, 69. And then as far as who we said, I said Lilleberg. Sonia, you said Geeky. He just didn't have, and maybe in the AHL, he led the team. But he's getting another shot. It looks like he'll be up here with us for the playoffs. And then, School, you said Hagel. You aren't far off. So Lilleberg had 61 and Hagel had 58. So we were kind of on the right track there. But, I mean, some of these guys that were at the top of the list, we did not think were even going to be playing that much this season. All right. We talked about how we had so many players last season hit over 20 goals. And then we asked who is not on that list. So they had not scored 20 goals last year. Who will be on that list this year? I said Geeky. That didn't happen. Could have, I think. He had a chance to play a little bit more. Did great in the AHL. So you said Gonzalez. And then, Schoolie, you said Bjorkstrand. So let's take a look. I think we all missed on that one. Radish would have been really the only winner on that one. And of course, nobody projected that. Bjorkstrand, you were the closest, Schoolie. Bjorkstrand sadly only had 12 goals. Gage had 11, Sonia, so you were right there. And then
Bjorkstrand got his 12th on Wednesday.
Yeah, so an off season for him. And man, while I'm looking at it, Braden Point only 18 goals this season. So if there's anyone we got to get going, and I know he missed time, he still played 63 games though. If we're going to get anything going in the playoffs, it's got to be Braden Point. Because think about it, Cooch is just going to be blanketed. Like that strategy will be to target, to cover, to shut down Cooch. That means everybody else around him's got to step up. So Braden Point, man, we need you back in 2020 form. Remember 2020, that cup run, he was unbelievable. He was if we went to overtime, it was point time. It was Braden Point was going to score a goal in overtime. It's actually
Right.
surprising he didn't win Conn Smythe. We gave it. They gave it to Hetty, which was well deserved. He was shutting down everyone that year. But Braden Point was probably very close and probably got a lot of votes for Conn Smythe that year. So we need that Braden Point back.
Mm-hmm.
Bassy, the big cat. We talked about how many shutouts he would get. So, Sonia, you said 7. Shut them all out. I went with 5. Schoolie, you said 4. Do you guys know how many he had?
I don't.
4, 3,
Just 2.
2. Oh,
Well, you know what, though?
Okay.
I would like to see the stats of how many shutouts he had going into the last 5 minutes, because there were
Yeah.
a lot of games
Yeah.
where it was like some fluky goal at the end, or the guys let their foot off the gas pedal. Got that
Exactly.
one goal. So that kind of stinks that it was that low, but that's he had a much better season than that stat leads.
Yeah.
Which team wins the East? All right, Sonia and myself, way off. We picked teams that didn't even make the playoffs. Sonia, the Caps. I'll give you credit.
Oh
To at least making the playoffs. I said the Devils. Not even close.
No.
Thomas Schooley, man.
Look at this guy.
Thomas Schooley, Carolina Hurricanes. And
All right.
there you go. They did win the East. Can you make some predictions about who's going to win the Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
There you go. You got it on tape now. All right. Which Bolt? Oh, we can't even answer this one yet. Which Bolt will win an award this season, and what award? So to be seen. To be seen. And
Yeah, but did any of us pick award that what we pick?
these could happen still. I don't, like I said, I don't think we're gonna get shut out because they hate us because they ain't us. But I said Sorelli for Selke. He'll get votes. I don't think he'll win it.
You won't win it.
Sonia said Cooper for Coach of the Year. He'll get a lot of votes. I don't think he'll win it. And then you said Cooch for Hart, and I think that's our best shot.
Yeah.
Is Cooch for Hart. So TBD on that one. We'll see what happens. And then the final question we ask every year: will John Cooper get fired? we
better
all
not.
said no. And John Cooper
Not a
ain't
chance.
going anywhere. He ain't going anywhere. So
No.
that was that's fun. I like doing that. Sonia, you got to come back at the beginning of next season, and we got to do that before the season starts again, and we'll get some different questions on there, and to be determined on that award one. But yeah, I'm
Where are you driving to, Sonia? What's your day like leading up to
I actually was just getting back. I had to go and run some errands this morning. One was Lowe's. So when you text me, I was in Lowe's and I'm like, crap, I got to get out of here in time to get back to the house. So when I got back, I just
first.
Huh?
I messaged Sonia first thing this morning. I was like, listen, I know short notice, but I didn't want to ask you before Coburn was confirmed, because we wouldn't do it this early, except for this was when Coburn was available. So once he finally confirmed, which was late last night, I was going to text you late last night. And so
It's
I was
fine.
like, okay, first thing in the morning, I got to reach out to her and see if she can join us tomorrow. And so I'm like, okay, short notice, but can you please join us today? It's our 250 show. We got Coburn on. We want to go over predictions. And she's like, sure. I was waiting for you to go. I have 900 things to do, Thomas. I got to get my New Jersey bedazzled. I have to get that. I got to get new lipstick in. I got to get new hair. And I was like, oh, well, she said, okay. So
I didn't do any of that because I don't need any of that. My jersey is already done. You know me with makeup, I'm gonna always have enough. And it's so funny when I'm not singing and I'm at the game, people are like, "Where's your blue lipstick, dude? I don't wear that clown makeup every day of my life." It's like I use it for luck for the team, to be all in for the game. But if I'm not in that spot for the night, I don't do that. And definitely not if I'm walking around town. You ain't gonna see me in no sparkling blue lipstick. That's not how that goes.
Last night I had the people behind me, or Wednesday night I had the people behind me, uh, and they were like, "Is it Sonia singing? Is it the Sonia? Is Sonia singing?" I love it, and you could tell they do not come to many games. And she's like, I hope Sonia's singing tonight. And then you came out there, and they go, there she is. All right, Sonia's here, and I was like, and this is people say all the time, if you do not sing, this year you were good and put some precursors out there. Hey, I won't be singing this game, this game, this game, this game, but I still got messages. Where's Sonia? Or is Sonia okay? And it's like, yeah, she's fine. She's actually sitting right over there, And so,
Yeah.
and what some of you guys don't know is occasionally Sonia and them, they give away their tickets, and her husband has reached out to me a couple times and said, "Hey, can you give these tickets away?" and sends me the tickets and everything. And just a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, they did it, and it was for this lady and her two kids and her husband. And she was like, I said, "Listen, these are Sonia's. You got to make sure you're there. You got to make sure you go loud." And they were like ecstatic, and they're like, "Thank you so much. Please tell Sonia thank you." I was like, "Hey, tell her." I was like, I want people to know, hey, the don't don't do her dirty. Don't do Sonia dirty. She'll get you.
No, I won't. I'm not that kind of person. I just, you know what? I love
Me,
I love giving.
I'm looking and making sure. I'm like, somebody better be in those seats. They better not have sold them. I will come after you. And she
No,
was there
it's
with her kids.
okay. It's okay. What I started doing like maybe 3 years ago is what we did it for is because we did not see a lot of people of color in hockey games. So what we started doing is giving our tickets away to people of color, whether it was Hispanic, African American, or whatever, just people of color, because I wanted to diversify my arena. So I did that initially because of that. And then it kind of bled over into people who have never been to a hockey game before. And that was so good because you got families who had little kids who had never been in a building like that, in that type of environment. And it was so beautiful and heartwarming to see, them with their first certificate or their little hockey stick or their puck, and that was just a beautiful thing. I love doing that. It makes me feel so good.
That's that with me, I only have the two seats. So when I'm giving away the two seats, it's usually a single parent with a kid or, a husband and wife or something like that. So when, you give those four seats, I always know it's going to be a family. And I'm always like, okay, what family have I not given tickets to before? What family, and a lot of people will say, I want to take my grandkids to their first game or I want to take my kids to their first game. And I'm like, okay, here you go. And that was the whole reason I started the group Thunderbolts, was to get people who can't afford to get to the game to be able to go to the game and also have access to the players. Like right now they're practicing in Brandon. So if you go down to Brandon right now, you can probably meet some of the players and get autographs as they're leaving. That's usually where they practice during the playoffs. And that was the whole reason I started that group. So, and I always like continuing, and I have other people that will send me their tickets and say, "Hey, will you give away my tickets? Will you give away my tickets?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'll be more than happy to." I know growing up, my mom couldn't afford it, so I never got to go until I was able to afford it myself. So, once I was able to afford it myself, then I got to go to the games. And so there's a lot of families like that. So, especially nowadays and stuff. So, I'm like, hey, if I can help somebody go to a game, here you go.
Yeah.
And just so everybody knows out there, don't start DMing Thomas Schooley about tickets. But
No.
I tell people all the time, jump on Thunderbolts. A lot of times with my tickets, when I can't go, if you're on our Facebook or on our X, I'll throw it out there. Give us a go Bolts, and you'll be eligible. And then a lot of times, if you see us in public and you tell us you've never been to a Tampa Bay Lightning game, we try to make sure we get you a ticket because I mean, you have to experience hockey in person. As good as these games are all going to be this weekend on TV, they'll be exciting. Hockey in person is a completely different experience, and the Tampa Bay Lightning do it like nobody else, in my opinion. I keep going to other arenas, and I'm like, that's not as good. That singer's not as good. That presentation's not as good. There's no Lightning Bolt. But I really believe that we have this experience that is like no other. And if you get a kid to go to his or her first game for the first time, you might have a Bolts fan hooked for the rest of their life. And that's what I want. I want every person, every kid in Tampa Bay to be a Lightning fan. So follow
Right.
Thunderbolt, follow us, and hopefully we'll get you to a game. Don't be asking for playoff tickets, though, because those are in high demand.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even think
There ain't no freebies of those. I can tell you that.
Yeah. And we will be live after every game here for the first round. I will be live as well. I know once we get to the later rounds, to be determined how things are going to work out. We're going to try to go live for every game until we win the Stanley Cup again. So let's get you out of here. Sonia, you got stuff to do. You got preparation for Sunday. Schoolie, we have jobs we need to go do. And it's Friday morning.
By the way, I am the backup in the playoffs for Sonia. I'm the E-Bug, E-Buff. I'm the E-Bus, emergency singer. In case Sonia can't go on Sunday, la 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 la. I'm practicing. I'm going there. So.
Oh, please make that happen. Please.
Believe it or not, just like some people have or some teams have that backup goalie who's like the guy that was a Zamboni driver. We have several people who work in the offices upstairs who are singers. So, I mean, heaven forbid something happened to me at game time. There's always somebody in the building who can do the anthem.
Always got a backup.
Yeah.
I know.
Nancy
Johnny
Kerrigan,
B
you.
always-
Be careful.
What'd
Do
you
what
say,
now?
Stu?
Someone's gonna Nancy Kerrigan her.
Oh, gosh.
Go up and hit her with the crowbar and be like, it's my time to shine.
It's not. That's not how that goes. You know, we forget I spent 20 years in the United States military, baby.
She's doing the Nancy Kerrigan around here, or the
Oh
Tommy.
no! One time at Brandon, quick story. One time at Brandon, I was waiting for her to come up there. She was meeting me there, and she pulled up, and I ran up on her, and she's like, "What are you doing? Don't you know I'm packing?" She's like, "You don't run on somebody that's military like that."
PTSD,
And I'm like-
ADD, all those letters.
I'm like, "Oh, you're right. Maybe that wasn't a great idea."
Yeah, don't run up on your girl.
That's funny. So I got two questions for you guys.
Okay.
Schoolie, I won't ask you this one, Sonia, because you're part of my answer for this one. We're at
Okay.
250 episodes, and don't say the first time we had you on as a guest, Schoolie, because Schoolie was a guest before he was a host.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you pinpoint your favorite moment of these 250 episodes? I know
Well,
I've
of
got
course.
one, and Sonia's in it.
Mine was the one after my mom passed away, from all the support from everybody. We literally went live 2 days after my mom passed away from cancer, during that 2020 Cup run. So just seeing the amount of support that came out of that show for my mom was something that was really big. So of course that's the biggest. Guess wise, I probably say having Wall on was one of the top guests that we've had. and the friends that we've met along the way. Sonia, of course, I think she's been on more times than anybody else. So, we always, I like this show. Nigel was a great get. I still have people talk about Nigel and how good he was, and he doesn't realize how fascinating he is. So, Nigel, I thought was a huge get that we were able to get.
Yeah, great guest. Mine, Sonia's in mine. Schoolie was not, because Schoolie was MIA. 2020, the
After we
bubble,
won.
the post game, after we win the cup. Like, this is the bubble, right? So we're not all out celebrating. Well, Schoolie, I don't know where you were out
I was
celebrating.
at IHOP.
We're not
We
there.
go to IHOP afterwards. A group of us go to IHOP after every Stanley Cup win.
But we're on there. The stash is on there. We've got a bunch of people that are jumping on, because remember, it's COVID. We can't even get together and celebrate. And
Yeah.
we win this cup. And then Sonia pops on at I think you came on at 2 a.m. Like, we're still
It was
out
really
there
late.
celebrating. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's Sonia. So that was definitely one of my favorite episodes, one of my favorite moments. So thank you, not just for that time, but all the times that you've been on this show with us. It's just fun every time, and we love you. The other moment that I was going to say was, I don't know, when you and Schoolie, or when the stash and Schoolie used to fight, was always my favorite.
Yep.
And me
Yep.
me moderating that and not egging it on at all.
Yep.
And then let's see, guest wise, I love all our guests. I think we've had fun. We've never really had a bad guest experience, really, and we've had assistant
Well,
GMs.
the Willy Wonka one you brought on.
What, Willy Wonka?
Yeah.
That was a surprise for you. Come on. I liked Willy, old Willy Wonka. That was an outside the box one for sure. I don't know. I still don't think you can beat Andre Waugh. And we should get him on again, just because that guy's just a machine of entertainment. And hey, Montreal, maybe we call him up and see if he can come on after one of the games, because he's a Montreal guy.
Yeah.
So that was always good. But it's been fun. It's crazy to think that it's been that many episodes, and that we do this once a week throughout the season, and it's a lot, right? And 250 is a lot of episodes, but it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like it's been a lot. I mean, of course, towards the end of the season like this, it's like, wow, we've been doing this since October.
Every year, Shooter's like, this is it for me. No more. I'm not doing it next year. I'm not doing it next year. And then I get that message that I just wait for, because I know it's coming, going, all right, you ready to do this? And it's like, yeah, let's get it going. I mean, and the thing is it's not, we don't get paid. We don't really get recognition from the team. This year, they have been a lot more gracious towards us and helping us get some guests that we've gotten. And we just do it for fun, and we have fun. We like the people we've met. We love the guests that comes on. We just like to have fun and talk Lightning hockey, whether it's the good side of it or the bad side. We were doing shows when the team sucked, so at the beginning of the season, we were still doing it and saying, we know the team's sucking, but eventually we'll get out of it. We didn't know it'd be November, but yeah, it took some time, but we did it.
And here's a fun fact: our most watched and listened to episode was when we did not win the Stanley Cup versus Colorado. So I guess people really enjoyed us weeping that we could not win 3 straight cups. So screw all you haters out there. Your views
We
count.
always had the most comments when we lost. That's always when we had the most comments, was when we lost, because everybody wants to chime in on why we lost, which player's fault it was, the reason we lost. When we win, everybody's just happy and they don't show up. They're just like, yeah, we won. when we lose, someone's got to blame somebody, and they got to tell everybody else whose fault it is. So they jump on there real quick and say it was Killer's fault. It was this person's fault. It was this person's fault. Sorry,
why did he let in a goal?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe because he's playing against really, really good hockey players and he can't stop all of them. All right. Well, let's get out of here. I do have a question. One more, Sonia, and this one you can answer. Not that you don't have a favorite moment, but I would assume your favorite moments are every time you're on the show. But the question for you is, and this is for you, Schoolie, we'll all answer this before we jump off, is this series, how long is it going to go? I'll go first. I'm going to say Bolts in 5 because that's 500. That's 500 for Sonia. So Bolts in 5. Let's make it a quick one for the first round. I'm saying Bolts in 5. Screw it.
Go ahead, Sonia.
We lost our audio. We lost our audio. What happened? No, what happened? Well, we are for episode 250. We are
just put your hands up for how many, Sonia, because we know you're picking the Bolts. Bolts in 5. I'm saying Bolts in 6. I say they get so inspirational from her singing her 500th game 5 that they win game 5, and then they close it out game 6 in Montreal.
I love it. All right, Sonia, we still don't have you, but we'll wrap this one up anyway. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Thomas. We will be here Sunday night.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we got you.
Now we can.
Yeah. I said 5. And the reason why I said 5, not because of my day, but I just think because we played them so hard that last game, and they were so and I just feel like we're going to go ham on their butts, and they're going to win a couple, but we're going to beat their butts.
I like that. I think this is the only healthy kind of physical and mental abuse that people can give to each other, and the Lightning need to do it to the Montreal Canadiens starting Sunday.
Yes!
So we will be there. Sonia will be there on Sunday to kick it off. Schoolie will be on the house. I am probably going to be right here manning the station so we can go live afterwards. Schoolie back in the bush where it all started. Well, I guess 2021 when we went on that run. We're going to make it all happen again here and hopefully lifting that Stanley Cup. Man, we're going to be, this is the beginning, right? We're going to be so tired in June when we win the cup because we've got to win 16 games and we're going to lose a couple in between. So I'm ready for it. And by the way, we will have some sub-hosts because for some of this time, I'm just not going to be able to do the show. The good news is for the people that remember in 2021, when I was out of the country, which I will be this summer, we did not lose a game the entire time I was gone. So we're going to recreate that, and I'm going to be gone even longer this time. I'm going to really cry if I'm gone and it's when we win the Stanley Cup, but let's put those vibes out there. Let's put it in the universe. Lightning are going to win the cup 2026. Give us a month or two to make it happen. All right.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else?
Nope.
Go Bolts.
All right. Go Bolts. This has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
That's it?
That's it.
Yeah, from the Bay, turn it up real smooth now. Schoolie, shooter, let it ride. Let it ride.